I'm still harping on the blues because I love the freedom that the blues gives you to play. I love the pattern, I love the pattern, of the power of a pattern to give you freedom and give me freedom, the power of a pattern to set you free. Well, the Blues Jam Harp Camp is almost over. We're just about to pick the grand prize winner. I put a little link to that event in the post. What I'm playing now is what I've just taught. Well, it's not exactly what I've just taught. What I taught in the Blues Jam Camp, and the Blues Jam Camp is still open for a day or two if you jump in now. What I taught was the power of pattern in melodic, in melodies. And so we went through a bunch of different patterns, like the pentatonic scale, like the embellishments, like the bending of this note, like the raising of this note. People learned, hundreds of harpists learned how to make these melodies, these blues melodies, and play them along with a backing track, which was really, really fun. And today I'm picking the grand prize winner, and the grand prize is admission to something else that I'm doing that is related and yet completely different. So what the grand prize is a admission to my all-day workshop at the Somerset Harp Festival. And this is a hybrid. It's virtual and it's also live. I think most of the people will be there live. A couple will be, I don't even know. I don't know yet. But if you come, you'll be there either live or virtual. And what's really cool about that is that it goes from the blues to the blues actually uses modes. It uses on the harp. You can use the Dorian mode to unlock the blues. In my modal improv magic workshop at Somerset, we go through all the modes, all 7 of the modes, to see what each one unlocks. And that's really powerful, whether you're playing blues or jazz or meditative music or bedside music, or you're just learning how to use improv to set you free from the notes on the page. And you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm just going to open up the chat so you can say hello and you can tell me whether you can actually hear me or not, because I did a whole Facebook Live the other day and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And there was no sound, which was interesting in its own way. So, but you should be able to comment on whatever channel you're on. So if you do not know how, if you don't have a post, okay, just jumped in and can you hear me? Who is this? Hello, Marcella. Good. Let me know if you can actually hear me. I think you can, or you wouldn't have posted that. Okay, great. Hello, and yes, great. Hi, I'm heard. All right. So I want to see if I can actually give you a link to that. I want to make sure that you can sign up to get into the challenge. You heard me in Kentucky. Yay. So let's see. Oh, okay. So the camp is still, you can still get in for a couple of days. Let me know if you actually got that link. I don't know whether that works. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And so I want to just take a minute here and give you that link so that you can come to the celebration, but also that you'll know why there's a celebration. Like, what am I talking about right now? I am always talking about using pattern, using structure, using ideas to get you off the page, to give you freedom. And why am I talking about that? Because it changed my life. And it's given me freedom in my life. And there's a lot of stuff I struggle with in the world. And I always wish that someone would come along and be like, okay, here's how it works. Here's the building blocks here. because otherwise I get completely stuck in the weeds and confused, and I don't know what it's supposed to be like, and I become perfectionistic because I'm secretly perfectionistic. And this is something, but not in music. In music, in improvisation, when I was a kid, somebody broke it apart for me. My mom broke it apart for me, and it's been that opened up freedom for my lifetime. So I know what it feels like to be painfully stuck, can't figure out how to get freedom while watching other people doing it. I know that feeling. I have that feeling a lot. And I know the feeling of what it's like when I get that there is a simple way to make something absolutely beautiful that I can do no matter what my physical capabilities. And this is really important to me. One of the reasons that I play the lever harp today, and I started off on the pedal harp, but one of the reasons I play the lever harp today is because I grew up around people who didn't always have all their limbs or all their fingers. And I wasn't going to talk about this today, but the thing was, I thought, you know what? I may not, whatever I have today, my 2 feet, my 2 hands, all the fingers, I may not have them forever. So what am I going to do now to learn about artistic creation, about creative expression that is going to work for me no matter what my physical condition is? Because I want to be creatively expressive my entire life, beginning all the way to the end, and know how it works so that I'm not stuck playing something specific, that I can break it down. I can break it down. If I only have one hand, I want to be able to play with that one hand. I don't want to have to stop. If I only have 2 fingers, I want to be able to play. And, you know, one of the things I noticed about the pedal harp was like, wow, if something happens to a foot, you're in trouble there. And so I wanted to make sure that I could play an instrument that if something did happen to my feet, I would have this instrument. Now, that maybe it sounds morbid to people, but to me, life is about creative freedom with whatever you have at that moment. Creative freedom with whatever you have. It doesn't mean you need to be fixed in order to be able to be expressive. It doesn't mean you have to change, you have to grow. I mean, because what happens is when you get the simple things, sorry, obviously this is not what I prepared, but that's the point. This is what's important, that we learn by doing. And when we get something as simple as that, as we start doing it, it opens up. There are principles that open it up. Whenever you have a note, you can add a note to it. You can add a note going up. You can add a note going down. Whenever you have a pattern, you can move that pattern to somewhere else. So these ideas open up creative expression at any technical level. That's why I love Hip Harp Academy, because the people in the academy are at all different levels, from people who started after they retired to people who have been playing their whole life. And these people, these incredible members of the academy, are literally opening up creative doors for each other by sharing. And it is not a hierarchy. It's not like, oh, well, the people who have been playing for 20 years are going to show the people who have only been playing for 3 years. Sometimes it's the people who are just starting who are able to express or learn or discover and share things about creative freedom that those of us who've been playing forever have gotten, that's been locked away from us. And so by being together in a place where we can talk about the creative principles of music, the creative principles of music, the building blocks, the things that create, talking about that opens it all up for us. So, I invite you, if you play the harp at any level, I invite you to join Hip Harp Academy. It's open right now. Go to hipharpacademy.com. And if you can come to the celebration today, great. But even if you can't come to the celebration, join the Academy, because that is where you get the freedom to express yourself with your instrument. The harp becomes a platform for your self-expression. This, by the way, is a pattern. Notice I'm not looking at it. My hands are staying the same. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. It can open up so much. Why do the patterns open up so much? And this quarter is called the power of pattern. They open up so much because it gives your mind two things that it needs. It gives it something to think about, and yet something that you don't have to think so much about, that you can't be free with what you're doing. So it gives you a foundation. It gives you something to land on, something to be grounded in. And that opens up. And that is true about anything that I'm teaching. Whether I'm teaching the pattern of blues, or I'm teaching the pattern of vamps, or like at Somerset, at the Somerset Harp Festival, where I'm teaching modal improv, where we're using the power of pattern to open up the modes so that you can not even worry about your levers or your pedals, and you can open up whole new worlds. Like this one, the Mixolydian. Or this, the Lydian. So romantic. Or the Dorian, which opens up the blues as well as many other things. So I'm just I noticed that there's some comments here and I want to respond to those. Oh, yes, Marcella says, some of us have had classical music so much it's hard to break out and play. That's right. And there are people in the academy, many, it kind of breaks into two parts. There are the people who are stuck because they have that, and the people who have just kind of begun. And it's by being together and learning the principles together and kind of seeing like, oh, that's that. Oh, you could do that. Oh, you could do that, that you start to break free. And I totally get it. I totally get it, because when you're so stuck on those on the notes, it can get to the point that you don't even know what the notes mean. And I need to keep an eye on my clock here, because I want to make sure that I get to that celebration in time. Yep, classical training. Yeah, it can make us stuck. So we can get stuck in not knowing, having not played music, and we can get stuck in having played music so much in a certain way. And one of the big things that happens is what I call micro listening. When we start listening to every single little note critically. And one of the things that you learn, and one of the things that the power of pattern opens up, is to listen to the beauty of the harp instead of listening to what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong. And once you can ground in a couple of principles and then start really letting that happen, it starts to open up you start discovering. And one of the things that's really fun, Marcella, there are a couple people in the Academy who've been in for a while, and they've started to break free from the classical music, and then they're able to use their chops, but in new ways. They're able to use all that amazing technique that they've developed. So you don't have to lose it. You just find a new way. You find a new way to let it be self-expressed. Hello, you're a guitarist, and yes, I can never read exactly what you say, and yes, and yet I do, and I always feel like I understand you, Magda. Great. Okay, all right, so I'm going to jump off in a couple of minutes, but I want to make sure that everybody knows Hip Harp Academy. It's opening up. First class is tomorrow. We have the way the Academy works is that there are live classes, coaching, community. We have live coaching on Mondays. We have a vault of classes, and we have a community. So there, like, for example, tomorrow, there'll be we affectionately call it the chat, but it's the coaching session, the live coaching session. Afterwards, some of the members stay on and just have a salon where they get to connect and talk. So you've got this community, you're learning all together, you've got 24/7 access, and you have live coaching, so you can come with questions. You don't have to do everything. You take what works for you to explore and discover your creative voice. That's what's important to me. So let me read this last comment, and then I'm going to jump off. So Magda says the master classes are also great for guitarists. We've had other instrumentalists. I mean, I'm always taking classes in different instruments because for so long there were no classes I could take in harp techniques, and because I tend to learn more by going into a field where technically I can't actually do what the people are doing, so I end up redefining it for myself. So I'm really glad to hear that you're experiencing, Magda, that these master classes that I'm creating are good for lots of different instruments. All right, so I just came here to let you know about the masterclass and to also let you know about the improv, modal improv magic, which anyone could come to, but it's specifically for harpists because there's something really kind of magical that opens up on the harp with modes, and I'm going to be exploring that at Somerset. All right, I'm going to jump off now, but I look forward to seeing all of you in the Academy. You know what I didn't do? I didn't do a link to the Academy. So let me put a link here. Let's see if you get it. But just go to hipharpacademy.com. Let me know if you get there from here. I don't know if you can get the link from there. What time is the class that you just signed up? Great. You signed up for the Academy? If you signed up for the Academy, great. It starts, there's 2 classes on Monday because we have people in different time zones. You can come to either one or both. One is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The other is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The people from the US usually can come to either one, and then people from Europe usually come to the early morning one, the 11 o'clock one. People from down under usually come to the 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you joined the Academy, you will have gotten an email from me. You can always just reply to that, and I'll answer any questions. I'm going to jump off now, go to that celebration. I'm going to see if we can also broadcast that live. Thank you so much. No, Marcella, the first class in the Academy is on Monday. So anybody, if you haven't joined yet, this is a great time to join because the first live coaching session is on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then it happens again at 4:30 p.m. You can come to either, you can come to both, and I look forward to seeing you very soon on Monday. And if you just joined the Academy, I'll also send you my personal email. I'll email you later on today personally. Okay, got to jump. Beautiful. Okay, great. See you guys.